forgetting out all his benefits. He forgives all your sin. He heals all your brokenness. He redeems your life from the pit. Crowns you with mercy, crowns you with love. Slow to anger, rich in love. His compassion rises like the sun from the heavens high above. Great is his love for everyone. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Every heart be given him praise. As far as the east from the west, he has carried my sins away. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Let his mercy cover the night. From everlasting to everlasting, his kingdom rules in light. Justice for all who are oppressed. He made his ways known to Moses, his acts to the children of Israel. As a father has compassion on the children that he loves, so the Lord shows compassion to the ones who fear his name. He remembers we are dust. Our days are like the grass, but his mercy never fades. His faithfulness will last. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Every heart be given him praise. As far as the east from the west, he has carried my sins away. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Let his mercy.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize for the delay. Good morning, good morning. I will explain in a second why I am late to our live stream. I will explain in a second. But I am just glad to be here. I'm glad to sit down and get going. You guys like my hat? I got me a new America hat. Let me make sure I have appropriate size of the live stream here. Okay. I have the green light to trade. Let's go ahead, open in prayer, and we'll get started here. Father, we just honor you this morning. Thank you that you're in control, that you are King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Lord, we honor you today. And Lord, I pray that this live stream would magnify you. I pray that everyone here would be blessed in everything they set their hands to. In Jesus' name, amen. Nice, quick, and short. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm glad to be back on Monday morning. Good morning, everyone. Willie, RMP, Shane, Faith and Futures, Jeff, Georgette, Wawa, John, Octavian, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Tiziana, good morning. Tiana, good morning. Ted, good morning. Afternoon. Yes, afternoon. Pa, good morning. Tio, what's up? Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why don't we do it? Okay. I have the green light to trade, but because I'm just sitting down, we're not going to look at lower time frames yet. We're going to start the higher time frame, put together our analysis, and then work our way. If I miss a move, I miss a move. That's just how it's going to be. I'm not going to rush nothing. I'm not going to push nothing. I'm just going to do my thing and trust that a trade will be present when it's the right time. Okay? I am logged in and opening my accounts on Tradeview. There we go. Interesting. Okay. Wonder what that's from. I took withdrawal here on Friday. I told you guys that I wanted to be careful on my for next week. So I was just looking at with the withdrawals where my balances were at. It says I'm already down from my max about $500, and I'm like, I didn't take any losses, so I was just, maybe I withdrew more than I should have, and that's what it seems to be. Okay, let's do this. From a daily perspective, let's start with a weekly here. We ended the week lower and immediately have gone higher. We have no wick on the daily candle. Usually when we have no wick on the daily candle, the following week is going to run it. You can see that this week here left a no wick situation, and then the following week we ran that level. It also could be ran earlier. So let's look on a daily perspective here. From a daily perspective, on Monday, June 15, we left it there. And then we came back on Wednesday and ran that low. From a monthly perspective, we are going to end the month here in 2 days, and it's going to be our first black candle in 3 months. So March was red, and then for April and May, we exploded higher. So that's going to leave us a monthly candle down here, or a monthly fair value gap that we'll mark out right here. I'll just mark that. That means if we run this weekly low right here, we're running into this monthly candle. So this is a major level. The weekly low and weekly high are also major levels. Okay, so we got that figured out. We potentially will either run this level in July and then move higher, or we're just going to pump back up higher here. I tend to think that this level here is probably going to be hit in the month of July at some point. It makes sense if you look at how price actually moves. You're going to get a fair value, you're going to get a close, and then price wants to come and tag that imbalance that was created in March and April, or April and May. So we'll see how we close here, but this would be probably something we plan into the future. Maybe not today, but that's how I would be looking at this. Okay, from a daily perspective, we have our previous day high that has not been tagged yet, and that's pretty close to being tagged. And then I'm going to mark this level out over here, this, and bring that over. We still inversed this, so we anticipate this still to hold. From a inversion perspective, we're coming back up into that inversion. We closed through it on Friday, and now we're coming back up into it on Monday. So I anticipate this daily fair value gap, this daily inversion fair value gap to hold at least for today. I don't anticipate us closing above it. Doesn't mean we're not bullish though. So that's just that. From a 4-hour perspective, we have this 4-hour fair value gap sitting here. And price is going to close in 7 minutes to determine where this candle is going to close. Right now, it looks like it's in expansion. We've ran these highs, we've ran London highs, and we have this imbalance up here. I think we might be reaching for that. If we run previous day high, we're going to run this swing high here. Buy side liquidity. And that would be into the 4-hour fair value gap there. Okay. From an hourly perspective, we have mitigated. There is no fair value gaps here, just a lot of low resistance liquidity going to be created soon. Low resistance opportunities, something like that. I don't know when. But right now we're expanding higher. We'll see how we close in the next 5 minutes. That will help us to determine what's going to happen. Yeah, that's for the first purchase, Lewis. And then, yes, it goes down to 30%. So because it was a newer ad for me, I did 50%, but it is 30% for those. I apologize. I probably could change that. Maybe I should say 30 to 50%. Or I'll say 50% first time. That's what I'll do. I'll say 30%, 50% first time and 30% on those after. We're losing some ground right now in that hourly. We've made an inversion on the 1 minute and tapped a breaker though, a bullish breaker. 15 minute, we have a bullish 15-minute fair value gap after running that London low. I would call this bullish. We have a lot of support here, a lot of equal highs, and I think considering that we already ran London low, I'm bullish. Even though we're dropping right now, I want to see if we stay above 930. If we maintain 930, I'm going to keep a bullish sentiment for the previous day high sitting right here, and this buy side liquidity sitting right above the 4-hour or sitting inside the 4-hour fair value gap. We already mitigated this 15-minute fair value gap right here multiple times. But we do have low resistance opportunities right here. So I'm anticipating price not aggressively dropping, but if it does and this 15-minute closes below 930 in 3 minutes, then we can consider looking at how it will interact for lower prices here. We have a 5-minute fair value gap that's unmitigated down here. All right, let's see how this closes in the next 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
I just walked in with my.
Take the trash out.
If they could have the other phone. Can I have the other phone so I can work on my thing?
No, not working. No.
I want to see Zach's game.
What did I ask you to do?
To take out the trash.
Thank you. All right, folks. Sorry about that. We're back. I think I ate something last night that is turning in my stomach. It's not feeling very well. I feel great besides my stomach. So with this drop, I was checking it out while I was on the throne. I'm thinking I will like to see it continue down here, but I'm not going to do anything until we revisit this level here, till we revisit 930 open. Especially if we do not hit the 5-minute fair value gap here. If we leave this right now, I would love for this to take place. So we have 50% is right here. And it might go down lower just to bring the 50% down lower. That seems like it. We'll see. I think it could run Asia lows before it comes back up. All right, so we have a change in state of delivery on the 15. There's no reason for it to come all the way back up here. 930 would be the max. We hit the 5-minute, and then we have low resistance right here. And yeah, I think we're gonna drop. I need to figure out how I want to engage in this. We have that nice wick right there. Now that we're in the 5-minute, there's 2 more minutes to see how this 5-minute candle is going to close. How do we close in this 5-minute? So I'd like to see a wick. I'd like to see us come back up at a minimum to 9:30, or a minimum to midnight open, somewhere in this area. No, I wanted a long if we weren't going to, if the 15-minute didn't give us a change in state of delivery. But we have too much low resistance liquidity right here for us to ignore it. So what we want to do is probably see how price is going to engage from a 5-minute perspective. We have a 5-minute fair value gap here, and then the first presented 5-minute fair value gap. So I want the 5-minute to come up somewhere around between London and 9:30. Somewhere in here is where I'd like to engage the market. The problem is that's 65 points. That's a 65-point range. It's large. So I don't want to be quick. If we come back up here, I'm going to wait for a 1-minute change in state of delivery to the downside before I engage with it. So I know that we're not just, spiking higher. I see a nice little scalp opportunity. If we get an inversion right here, I'd take that scalp. Treating these as our sweeps of liquidity and the 5-minute imbalance as our support. Okay, so that's not present. Still heavy. It didn't even give us an inversion or a fair value gap tag. Asia lows are going to be tagged right here. I'm going to take a quick long off of this spike here, see if it gives me an expansion right here. If I get slapped, I get slapped for trying it. Stop's going to be at the low. I don't like that noise. I think I'm going to get stopped out. We tagged the new week opening gap. That was the idea there. And we had such a large wick that I decided to see if we can get one inversion. I don't think we are. I think we might run this low right here. But that low is sitting at 254. 274. $384. I'm going to go for 60 points right there. Okay, we got a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's see if it pushes right into that 5-minute or if it leaves it. So we went down immediately without tapping that 5-minute. That's a good sign for me. Typically means we're going to get a push into the 5-minute fair value gap sitting right here. All right, there's the 5-minute tap. I'll get ready to close it here in case we don't expand. All right, I'm going to close it there. Not a huge win for the risk that I took on. Not really proud of the execution on that one. I could have played it out differently, but it's okay. We managed risk appropriately. I didn't oversize. So we're up about $40 to $50 depending on what account it's on. I like the retag of this 1 minute fair value gap right here for a continuation to the upside. That's a breaker. Low. We have the low, high, lower low, even though we have that wick. Yeah, just because we have an old low doesn't mean it's going to run it. You have to understand that not all lows are going to be grabbed, and we grabbed all of these without any pullback. Typically, when you start getting to the lower ones, it's going to leave them temporarily. How long, I don't know. But if we get an inversion on that 1 minute, I wouldn't take it right now. I would rather take a long right now because of the time and wait for the macro around 11 to go short again. So this would be a higher risk play to take a long from here. Probably as risky as me taking the long that I took here. Actually, less risk. This is definitely this is more advantageous than this trade that I took down here. But then we're outside of the macro, so we could wait till 11 to see kind of how it plays out, and look for our continuation to the downside at 11. Oh, did you give? I see. Sorry. That was an earlier comment. Yeah, it was after the Asia sweep, and we tagged new week opening gap right there. I think this is going to be a failure swing here. Any move we have here is not going to run these lows. So if we get another inversion to the upside, I would take that. Anticipating a failure swing here and an inversion to the upside, I will take that long if it gives me the inversion. So it didn't give me the inversion. It gave me that breaker tag right here, or that order block tag with the fair value gap. That's why I said this one was probably less riskier than the trade that I took. Perfect. That looks more like I would want. I was like, the 70% looks too high, so I wanted to drag it closer to 930. So 70% of this range is sitting right there now. 50% is sitting right above that swing high that we marked out earlier, and that that inversion right here that I marked out earlier. Oh no, that was a different inversion. So we have this inversion that I marked out earlier. Again, I think I'm gonna wait right now. 5-minute inversion? No, because there's a fair value gap here, a fair value gap here, and fair value gap here. That is not the type of trade I would want to take. Because really what I'm anticipating is a 15-minute fair value gap or 15-minute candle leaving us a 15-minute fair value gap, and then we tag that 15-minute fair value gap to then move lower. That's how I want to see price today. I wanted to take the long in it. I took the early trade, and I probably shouldn't have taken that trade. Thankfully, we ended green. But the risk to reward, I should have held that trade longer for the reward, because I put myself, I went $100 down, $120 down in drawdown to make 50. That's not okay. That's poor risk management. So we have 2 minutes left on this candle here. And then once that candle closes, this is officially a 15-minute fair value gap. And from there, we have two options. Depending on how the higher time frame looks, that 15-minute could inverse, and if it inverses, we're taking a long up to this area. That's what we'll do. If it finds resistance and moves lower, then we probably are going to move lower. So this fair value gap is pretty key in my mind. And it plays out to be the macro time after the next 15-minute candle closes. It'll be the macro time. So does the next 15-minute candle respect this or violate it? And by the time we find that out, it's going to be 10:45, and that's going to be the 11 a.m. macro for us to take trades off of if we want. Until then, anything that we take, I think, would be a small scalp. Did we close above that? See, we didn't close above that inversion, and it ran that swing high already. And it's slingshotting back pretty aggressively. So once we close, I'm looking here. So the 15-minute candle, if I think it's going long, when this 15-minute candle closes on this minute right here, here's what I'd anticipate. We have two options. Either we aggressively run higher here quickly and then aggressively start running lower to put in the low side wick. And if it does this and we can't move lower, I'm going to use this point to take a long to anticipate the inversion on that 15-minute candle. If we move higher first and we consolidate here and we hit some key levels up here and then get some displacement this way, I'm going to look at taking a trade to move lower. I can see both sides of the market today, and I need either a higher time frame confirmation. I need something more to give me some direction. So give me a second here, folks. All right, so there's our tag of the 15-minute. Now the question is, how do we engage right here? Are we just putting in the wick, tag 930, and then come back lower, just ranging higher and lower? Or did we put in the low, running all the liquidity, and now we are going with intention to these areas up here? Notice how we didn't run the previous day low, nor the on ES or NQ. I'm thinking a long. I'm thinking longs. ES is too flat here. Look at the ES here. Look at this. Look how flat that is. Look how smooth. I mean, it's relatively smooth. I think we go higher, but I could be wrong. So what I want to see now is some displacement lower to mimic lower prices, but we find support probably inside this 5 minute. I think that's where I'm going to take the long. We have a 5 minute inversion here. BISI, we have a 5 minute SIBI right there. And then we're going to have another 5 minute SIBI right there. We'll get rid of this. Or 5 minute BISI right here. If we can get a retracement down into this one and ideally into this small overlap right here. Do you see that small overlap? I really like that. If we can get into there, I'd love to take a position there. But if we're, I mean, there's my 930 tag. That's my short that I wanted initially, remember? I won't take any retracement trades. I'm willing to take the retracement trade down to here, but I need the inversion. So if we're just going to keep pumping like this, it's going to go without me. I will not take a short unless I get an inversion to the downside, and then I'll look at taking a breaker somewhere around this vicinity here for a long. If it looks good when the time's right. You don't know until after you're looking at it with the correct time. So let's see what we get here. This is our 930 level, is our breaker. What does it look like on ES here? We are at the breaker as well. Do we just keep pumping? All right, because of how low it is, I'm going to wait for a retracement back up here. I'm not taking the short from here. I'm going to wait for it to come up here and then take it. Oh, there is no entry. No entry. All right, I'm going to take a short there. Down to the 5 minute, so 525 is the target. Stop is the inversion of this fair value gap, or my max would be the high. I'm going to move my target to this fair value gap, sitting at 520. So this is about a 1-to-1 risk to reward, roughly. This 15 minutes not going in my favor right now. There's only 3 minutes left, and it's looking more like an inversion, which means there's a good chance I'm taking a loss here. And if you're thinking, well, Tyler, if you're pretty confident that you're going to take a loss, why don't you get out the trade? Because I can be wrong a lot. So I let the trade play out. Unless something fundamentally is changing. We're watching, son of a gun. Is it NQU? There we go, yeah. We're watching this, where we close. Are we closing above that? Or we close below it? If we close above it, that's the inversion of the 15-minute. All right, so we have a close above it. Now I'm anticipating a run higher, and it could be off of this 5 or it could be off of this 5. But I anticipate a quick drop. That's what I want to see. But I'm going to be careful and probably move stop to break even right now. So it either needs to hit target or it'll be stopped out at break even because of the inversion. So it needs to aggressively move lower or I'll stop out. That's what I wanted to see. Come on, give me that 5-minute. Give me the 5-minute. Don't go all the way back up. I'm going to close it. Because of that 5-minute, the first 5-minute that we tagged, there's no reason for me to try to demand that it hit the next 5-minute. It might not. It doesn't have to. Because we got the 15-minute inversion. It doesn't have to. There's nothing else for it. It doesn't have to reach lower. I think it will, but I've been wrong, and I think I'm okay taking profit there. So right now I'm up about $100 on each account for another small 20-30 point trade. There it is. There it is. There's the tag. And it wouldn't have stopped me out either. Lesson learned. Be more patient, Tyler. Be more patient. Well, I didn't have emotions there. I think I took the trade off of logic. It just happened to be logic that was different or was favorable to me closing the position. Because reaching down to that 5-minute, I mean, look how it barely touched it so far. I mean, it touched it. It worked. But we have this 5-minute here. And we have 2 minutes left. It wouldn't surprise me if it closes above this 5-minute. So that trade was a inversion to the downside based on a higher time frame breaker, 5-minute, 15-minute. Reason I shortcut it was because of the hourly close of this candle, or that's closing in 11 minutes. It looks like it's leaving a wick down here. 15-minute had the inversion. A little wick here and potentially move higher. So that's what we're watching right now. Does price want to continue lower, or does price want to continue the idea of this inversion to the upside? I'd be interested in a long if we find support here and we have an inversion to the upside. This is a breaker right here, though. Interesting. Look at that. Look at that tag of that. Look at the exact level being tagged on this small little breaker. Boom. Does it explode higher? If it does look like that. This trade could be an easy momentum trade with an inversion right here. Only thing I don't like about that is midnight opens right above it. Anytime I see midnight open, I'm like, I see price stop like it's hitting a brick wall when it comes to levels like that. But low resistance liquidity here. Let's see. I like this tag right there. Yeah, see, it didn't even give us an opportunity. We're going higher, folks. That inversion is telling us what's happening. The 1 minute's getting us major displacement to the upside after barely moving and acting as if it was going lower, making people that went short here in extreme pain. And we're in the macro right now. So we potentially, if we get a close here and we come back down here in 2 minutes, we could take a breaker off of here to continue the upside trade. I'm going to try a long right here off of this breaker through this high right here and into the first presented fair value gap, 691. Stops moving to break even now. That was just too aggressive of a move to let it go against me now. Let's see if it gives me another push higher here. I'm going to close it there right below the first presented fair value gap. And I'm going to call it a day there, folks. 3 wins, 3 trades, nice small scalps, 1 micro. I'm up over $215 on each account, trading a single micro. $200 on 10 different accounts. I mean, that's $2,000, guys. I'm up $2,000 on the day. Just like that. Sure, it could be a lot more. I could have held my initial trade. If I held the initial trade, that'd be 360 points. Hey, I'll get there. I'll get there. Right now, I'm just happy with the win. RMP, you see, you think there's a difference from before I left for vacation compared to today. I shared it in a TikTok, but if there's still a big if tomorrow I don't lose, if tomorrow I'm green, for the month of June, I would have had only 1 red day. 1 red day in the month of June. In the month of May, I had 2 red days. Now, these red days were large. I shared that in the last video I just posted. For the month of May, I had 2 losing days, and both of those were $700 losing days, $700 to $800. When you look at what my average target is, 200 to 300 points, through $200 to $300. I mean, $700. That's 4 days, 4 days of trading. Potentially. So a lot of lessons for me to be learned in those 2 red days. If you haven't watched the video, I encourage you to watch it. There's tons of value in it. And then this month, I really buckled down onto those lessons and those commitments. And so far this month, I've only had 1 red day. Now, there was 1 day that I was down $400 and I took another trade past my $250 max daily loss, and I ended up making all my losses back, and I was plus $200 on that day. That day is the only exception of me drastically breaking my rules. Now, I think one thing I've been mulling over and I haven't officially solidified, but I think I'm considering, for me personally, moving my max daily loss to $500. I think I'm considering moving my max daily loss to $500. This would do 2 things for me. Number 1, it would cause me to not break my rules more often. It would cause me to follow my rule set more frequently because it's a higher limit. Number 2, I think $500 for me at this point is the level that I go, that doesn't hurt that bad. But man, if I take another loss above 500, that's going to be painful. if I end up with a $600, $700, $800 loss, that's painful. And I think that $500 level is that reasonable place for me to say, all right, enough is enough. It's time to stop here. While at the same time, keeping my risk management the same. 1 or 2 micros right now. I haven't increased that. I'm not increasing, RMP, I haven't increased my contract size yet. That will come as I build more confidence in just trading my system instead of just taking random trades. And I'll tell you that one of the biggest helps in that was not trading for the first 15 minutes. It shifted my mindset to patience compared to not wanting to miss my model. Even in the mindset of not wanting to miss my model, I've taken trades prematurely, pattern-based wise. And I think that has been a huge help. So we'll see how tomorrow plays. But I still have so much more to go as far as growth-wise. So many more things I need to accomplish that I want to accomplish. But I'm seeing more progress. So 2 days, only 2 days of losing. Huge milestone in my trading journey. 1 day of losses is another huge milestone in my journey. And regardless of what my profits are, it's not about the profits. For me, it's about the consistency. That's the thing, guys. My milestones, there are milestones that I haven't verbalized financially wise that I really don't communicate. But the ones that I matter a lot and I share with you guys is these consistencies, the consistency side of things. Being consistent like that encourages me greatly. It does. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. No doubt. Now, when I look at today and I look at if I put on the cap of trading for education, what could I have done differently today that would have helped me grow as a trader? I think I'm still in the same boat of learning to hold my trades longer. Let me say that slightly different. Learning to hold my trades longer. And number 2, learning to accept that I might get stopped out at break even, and that is okay. Because if you learn to hold your trades longer, what comes with that naturally is more stop outs. Naturally. It's just part of the game. So if stop outs are a part of that equation, then I also have to learn to become okay with being stopped out at break even and not feeling an obligation to take another trade and get back what I believe is rightfully mine. Which it's not. Nothing's mine. That's all a mindset. That's all a mental trick to make you overtrade to try to get back what you never had. So, I think that if I'm putting on that education hat, that's what I need to be more intentional on. up, Natalie? 4 hours. Woo! Yeah, you got to get good sleep. Best life trading. Where are you at? What did you put a comment in here? How can we learn what you do? What's up? Here's what I would say the best way is. Okay. My recommendation is to join the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, you're going to get everything. You get the academy, all of its videos. You get the 30-day roadmap, all of its videos specific for brand new traders. And you get access to the Discord, which when you're going through the 30-day roadmap, I think everybody that's in the 30-day roadmap that's a part of the academy underutilizes this feature. This feature is enormously valuable. You not only have the videos and the PDFs as part of the when you're in the 30-day roadmap. Okay, you got the PDFs and you have the videos for me to teach you and help you and guide you along the way. But if you're in the academy, you get access to the Discord, and there's a 30-day roadmap channel. This 30-day roadmap channel has each day laid out, and for the most part, there's very little engagement in there. But when you do your homework and you put in your questions or your homework in there, I have reviewed every single picture, every single question that has been submitted in there to help guide you on your homework. Think of it this way. Your teacher gives you a test. You take the test. Great. There's some learning in that because it's an open book test. Open book tests are great. You're going to learn and you're learning based on the questions that are given to you. That's great. But that's not how teaching works in the real world. What happens is you actually have to submit your homework. You got to submit your test to your teacher. Then what does the teacher do? The teacher grades your homework and you get feedback on that homework. When you're a part of the academy and you go through the 30-day roadmap, you get to put all of those lessons, all of that insight that you're learning into there, and I get to help correct it, help direct it, help guide you to learn how to read the market, like your question is, what was it? Best life trading family. How do you learn? That, in my opinion, there is no better way. Okay? It's going to require self-discipline. Nobody's making you do this. Nobody's making you do your homework on a daily, weekly basis. You got to do it. You got to follow through with it. But then you got a guide to guide you through it when you actually do it to help correct any misconceptions. Somebody put it in the chat for day 15 just this morning. And they're like, here's the inversion with the breaker, but it didn't sweep the high. Well, I responded. Tiziana, if she's on here, it was for her. What was the correction? She anchored her line to the wrong breaker. So now she gets to go back and reanalyze and figure out what breaker did he see that I didn't see, and what can I do more specifically? What can I do better at it? And that's because she's going through the 30-day roadmap and she's putting it in there, taking that extra step and just uploading what her homework is, and then I review it. If you want to learn to day trade, folks, you got to treat it like a 4-year freaking degree. You're not going to be able to come and do this part-time and then, boom, you got your 4-year financial trading education degree. No, you'll walk away with an associate's. Yeah, you'll be able to say, oh yeah, that's a breaker, that's an inversion, that's a fair value gap. But that's not how, you're not going to be able to trade by just knowing the language. You actually got to do the work. Do the work. I promise you, you'll see growth. Okay? With that, guys, we're going to end here. We're going to end right here. With that, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. For those inside the academy, we'll see you guys here tomorrow inside the private live stream. We'll be here ready to rock and roll. So, God bless. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Appreciate you, and we'll see you guys in the next video. God bless.